The electrophilic substitution reactions. Today we are going to do the oxidation and reduction of phenol. Oxidation of phenol is given in your book, but reduction in phenol is not being given in your book. Anyway, but we'll do it. Okay. Oxidation of phenol. See, phenol when it's oxidized by chromium trioxide or sodium dichromate in presence of concentrated sulfuric acid, it gives us 1,4-benzoquinone. Phenol on oxidation with chromium trioxide or sodium dichromate or potassium dichromate. Actually, it is chromium 6. Oxidation, if you take chromium 6 oxidation state, they are strong oxidation again. In concentrated H2SO4, give 1,4 benzoquinone. Okay? So I'll write. Sorry, phenol. Okay? So if you oxidize it, with CrO3 or Na2Cr2O7, K2Cr2O7 in concentrated H2SO4 heat, you will get this. This one you have seen that if you keep phenol outside, exposed to sunlight and air, same thing forms. Okay? This is called 1,4 benzoquinone. Is a colored substance. 1,4 benzoquinone. Okay? So this is now reduction. I told you reduction is not being given in your book, but anyway we should read. Phenol on catalytic hydrogenation. What is catalytic hydrogenation? That is with hydrogen gas in presence of nickel or any other. Nickel is the cheapest one. We use nickel. Give cyclohexanol. Cyclohexanol is very important industrially because from there we oxidize it and we get adipic acid by which we can make synthetic fiber, nylon. Okay? So, phenol, CH2, nickel, heat it, you get here this cyclohexanol. So now I will tell you 2-3 reactions little extra. Okay, you should know. Like reaction of phenol with phthalic anhydride. Reaction of phenol with phthalic anhydride. So if you heat phenol with phthalic anhydride, in your note I have not, summary I did not write it. So in that case, when it undergoes condensation reaction to give you a very important compound, we call it phenolphthalein. I think you have heard this phenolphthalein. Phenolphthalein is a dye and is being used as a acid-base indicator. Okay. So these are little extra. You know, buy one get one free. That buy one get one free system. See, huge amount of phenol is being used in industry to make different types of dye. Okay, and phenol. So right now here, coupling reaction. Coupling reaction that you are going to study when you go to MS, but you should know how to study earlier. Alkaline solution of phenol undergoes coupling with aryl diazonium salts to form corresponding azo dye. Hundreds and hundreds of phenols are being used. Okay. So I told you this you are going to study in. I mean, of course, this year this diazonium salts is being removed, but mind it, it might have been removed from your chemistry syllabus, but it is not removed from your entrance syllabus. Okay. This is diazonium ion. All right. So phenol is going to undergo coupling reaction. It will couple. It's not going to substitute. Sodium hydroxide aqueous. So you'll get here you'll get this. This compound is called azobenzene. Okay, so we'll call it 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-hydroxy azobenzene. It's a brilliant dye, red, and this we call it azo dye. Please, for your reference, remember any compound which contains nitrogen double bond is a color substance. So this is buy one get one free. So I'll give you some more. So I'm so happy with you people. Okay. Now second is the condensation titration with phthalic. Spelling is pH. So pH is silent. Phthalic anhydride. Okay. So this acid is called phthalic acid. If you heat it, one molecule of water goes out and it forms an anhydride. So this is called phthalic anhydride. All right. Now, it is going to, this carbonyl group is going to condense with 2 molecules of phenol. 1. Right here like this. 1 more right. This. Concentrated sulfuric acid is a strong dehydrating agent. Okay. So if I use it, what will happen? It will be like this. And you'll get don't get scared by this structure. Huh? This is called phenolphthalein. This is a white powder. In acidic medium, the solution is colorless. And in alkaline medium, it gives you a beautiful pink color. Okay? So this is used as a acid-base integrator. Acid-base. Okay, I'll write here now. Strong acid-base indicator. That is, if I go for titration of sodium hydroxide with sulfuric acid, I'll use this one. But if it is mild, okay, for mild acid-base, we use methyl orange. Okay? Okay, now, as I told you, that huge amount of phenol is being used for making dyes. So similarly, huge amount of phenol is also being used for making a type of polymer. It is called bakelite. Okay, so bakelite condenses with formaldehyde to give us this phenol formaldehyde resin, or known as bakelite. Bakelite is the first man-made polymer. Okay. Huge amount of phenol is used to prepare phenol formaldehyde resin or bakelite. Have you seen any bakelite articles? Huh? Anyone? Have you seen any bakelite polymer? See, bakelite is a hard insulated substance. Okay? And it does not conduct heat and electricity. Because of that, the bakelite are being used to make the handles of your cooking wares. Pressure cooker handle, the handle of your frying pan and all these things are coated with bakelite. Okay, now I'll go to the third part of the chapter. Okay, so it is called ether. It is called ether. Okay, so classification of ether. Okay, first ether, let me write here. How does it look like? R O R. Classification of ether. All right. So you will find it is symmetrical ether. Symmetrical ether means what? Both of them are same only. So what will be the structure? General structure. General structure is this. I will write R1, R1. Okay. R1, R1. So where? Oh, I will write R1 and R2. So here I will write R1 equal to R2. Example, CH3O CH3. We call it, so nomenclature I have already told you. Dimethyl ether. This is common name. Okay? And what is the IUPAC name? IUPAC name is methoxy methane. We consider in case of the nomenclature of ether, whichever side is longer, we consider it the main chain. Other part we think it as substitution. Okay? Now this. This is often used, large amount is used in our laboratory. What is the common name? Diethyl ether. This is a low boiling liquid and this is gaseous. Diethyl ether. What will be the IUPAC name? Ethoxy ethane. Okay? Now, how many examples I'll give? Okay, let me give some more. This is called diisopropyl ether. Diisopropyl ether. Then this is called diphenyl ether. This is called diphenyl. Please write down. Right. Otherwise you will forget. 2 minutes, Sam. 2 minutes. ভালো তাও হুম Finish writing? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Right. Others have finished? Okay. Now we'll have unsymmetrical ether. B. Unsymmetrical ether. So in this case, you'll find R1 is not equal to R2. Okay. In this case, example is CH3, CH2, or CH3. Common name, how you do? In one side you have ethyl and the side you have methyl. So we have to say in alphabetical order. Okay. So this is called, this is ethyl will come before methyl. So we'll call it ethyl, methyl, ethyl, methyl, ethyl. Okay, ethyl, methyl, ethyl. Clear? Now, if I go for IUPAC naming, see, one side you have methyl group, other side you have ethyl group. So in this case, which side is longer? This is longer, having more carbon. So this will be the parent compound. So what should we name it? We'll consider this to be a substitution on ethyl group. So the name is methoxy ethane. See here, only 2 carbons are there, so we need not number it. Here, suppose it is written like this: O CH3. One side you have 3 carbon, other side you have 1 carbon. We know if it is a second carbon, you have to call it isopropyl. So when I'll write this common name, I'll call it isopropyl methyl ether. Isopropyl methyl ether. What will be the IUPAC name? This is the parent chain, so it's propane. This will be the substitution. Methoxy on which carbon? On second carbon. Now, when it is 3, then you have to put number. So it will be 2 methoxy, methoxy 2-methoxypropane. Clear? Now, this one, so often we are going to discuss here now. So right now here, CH3, CH3, O, CH3. Good. See here, please see, this group we call it tertiary butyl. So, name will be alphabetical order, B comes before C. Whenever you go for arranging the alphabetical order, please do not see all this iso and tertiary. Okay, these are the description. So you have to go by the name of the group. This tertiary, but it starts with butyl. So B will come before M. All right. So the name of the ether will be tertiary butyl methyl ether. Tertiary butyl methyl ether. What will be the IUPAC name? Longest chain, 3 carbon. So this is substitute on second carbon. This is also substitute in second carbon. So now we have to arrange them in alphabetical order. See, in methyl, METH is common with METH here. Where does it differ? Methoxy starts in 5th alphabet is O, but here 5th alphabet is Y. So I have to write this one first. So it will be 2 methoxy 2 methyl propane. Okay. Now I'll do a very famous example. Okay. This is we are going to discuss also here. This. Okay. So in this case, one side is aliphatic, other side is aromatic. This is methyl and this is phenyl. In this case, M will come before P. So its common name is methyl phenyl ether. Methyl phenyl ether. Okay, but it is more popularly known as, in your exam also you find they give you this name, anisole. Okay, this is more popular name, anisole. What is the IUPAC name? IUPAC name is methoxybenzene. This methoxybenzene. Please write. Finish. Hello. Have you finished?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Now I'll give you one more which is not been given in your book. Third category, we call it cyclic ethers. Okay. This is a very, very important cyclic ether. Okay. Generally, that you have already studied in class 11. When you react the alkene, when you heat alkene in presence of oxygen in air, you will get this one. Okay? This is called epoxide. This is called epoxide. Or sometimes it is also called ethylene oxide. What is this IUPAC name? IUPAC name is oxirane. Beautiful name. Oxirane. See, this compound is commercially very important because it is being used for making different types of polymers. Even your very quick setting glue, like Fevikwik, is made from there. This is being used to make neutral detergent, okay, like the hand wash, not your the Corona type, other hand wash is really costly, huh? All right. Now, this is 4-membered. This is called oxetane. All right. Now you can have this one. This, okay. This one should I write? Okay. Yeah. 1, no, 2, 3, 4, 5 tetrahydro. I forget. Huh? These type of compounds are also there. Okay, these are called pyranols. So forget. So these are all cyclic ether. All right. There are some type of ethers are also available. I think I'm going little more. Huh? So please stop me. Huh? Whenever you find it's too much now, so you tell me, sir, enough. What do you say in Khasi? Enough? What do you say in enough in Khasi? Hey, see, this one is this. These are called crown ether. Crown ether. Crown ether. Now, what type of isomerism you can find in ethers? Hmm? See, nuclear and chain isomerism, so you will always find in crown ethers. Sorry, ethers. Wait, let me check. What did I write? And all forgot दिया. सब उल्टा पुल्टा हो गया. कहाँ हो गया? Okay. Many things cannot be written in your book. Isomerism. It is this. Okay, this is methoxypropane. What will be the example? See, this is the example of nuclear or chain isomer. Second, it can show you positional isomer. A same example I write. CH3, CH3, CH3O CH3. Okay. So what is the name of this one? The common name is methyl propyl ether. Okay. Methyl propyl ether. What is the IUPAC name? 1, 2, 3. So this is 1 methoxy propyl. Clear? Then see here, it is shifted from first carbon to second carbon. So what will be this group? Second carbon is iso. So what should I call it? Isopropyl methyl ether. So what is this IUPAC name? 2 methoxy propyl. Okay. Now it can show you functional isomer. Functional isomer. Example, very famous example that you have already studied in class 11 also. Suppose I have taken here, okay, okay, CH2O CH3. Okay, so what will be the functional isomer? CH3 CH2 CH2 OH. So this is ether and this is alcohol. This is ether. What is his name? Methoxypropane, 1-methoxypropane. And what is the name? Butan 1-ol. Okay. Then metamer. Metamerism is shown specially by ether. Metamer. Okay. So suppose I have taken here CH3, CH2, O, CH2, CH3. What is the name? It is diethyl ether. Diethyl ether or ethoxyethane. What is going to show? Metamer is what? Metamer you will find different types of carbon will be on both sides of functional group. This is the functional group. Here you have 2 and 2. Here you have 1 and 3. Okay? So this is called methyl propyl ether. Methyl propyl ether. So what is this IUPAC name? You know it. It is 1-methoxy propyl. Please write out. This is again, though it is not in your book, it's for entrance. Please write. Finish? Hello? Finish?
Done, sir.
Okay. Now we'll go for the preparation of ether. General methods of preparation of ether. General methods of preparation of ether. General methods of preparation of ether. 1. From alcohol. All right. Symmetrical ethers can be prepared by dehydration of alcohol with concentrated H2SO4 at, remember, 413 Kelvin. This is very important. Okay, 413 Kelvin. All right, all right. When primary alcohol are heated with concentrated H2SO4 at 413 Kelvin, form corresponding E third. Okay? So I'll show you. R CH2OH plus CH2R concentrated H2SO4 413 Kelvin. See what happened? A molecule of water is lost. So this gets connected to this. So you get now here RCH2 CH2R plus H2O. This is the one. So now I'm going to show you the mechanism of formation of ether. All right? Mechanism of formation of ether. Mechanism. Step 1. H2SO4 strong acid immediately ionizes to give you H plus and HSO4 minus. Second, okay? So I'll write it with stylish way, huh? Okay? Because this carbon is sp3, I'll write like this. R O H C. This oxygen has lone pair, so it's in their loose bases. This is H and this is H. Then this is the H plus. So this is a loose base, this is a loose acid. It will immediately react to give you R okay. I'll tell you why did I draw it in this way. Okay? See here. These solid lines are on the plane of the board. This is above the board, this hydrogen, and this is behind the board because this carbon is sp3 and this tetrahydrogen shape. So what you get now? It gives you an oxonium ion. Oxonium. Then you have already done in haloalkenes. I made you understand SN1 and SN2 reaction. So this is also a nucleophilic substitution reaction. Just you will see how the substitution is going to occur. See here. This side is big, so nucleophile cannot approach from the side of leaving group or front side. So it has to attack from back side. Okay? So I'll write now here. So this is another molecule of alcohol, which is not being protonated. Okay? So this is an alcohol and this is the oxonium. See, such a big molecule cannot come from this side. But here you have two small hydrogen atoms. So in that case, it can approach from this side. So it is coming from back side. Okay? So it is back side. Okay? So now we know. So this type of reaction, so we know what we call it. This is called SN2. So SN2 reaction forms a non-polar transition state. That is, one bond is going to form, another bond is going to break. I'll write it now here. I'll now this side, no, this side I'll make it. I'll not go for 3-dimensional. I'll just write it plain, huh? So for that, so I'll write now here RCH2O. See, this started giving electron. This oxygen started giving electron to this tree. So it is R H K, and this bond will start breaking. This. All right. So this is plus and this is plus. Why? Because gradually the electron is going, so it has started developing electropositivity and gradually it is withdrawing. So now see this positive charge is decreasing. So this is the non-polar transition state. Finally this goes out. Okay, bye. So what we are going to get now here? RCH2O. CH2R. This is H and water gone. So it forms another oxygen ion. We know the valency of oxygen is not stable at 3. So ultimately what is going to happen? This oxygen hydrogen bond will go and hydrogen will go out at H plus. So what do you get here? You get here R CH2 CH2 R and H plus. So this H plus will again combine with this. Because of that, it is being used as a catalyst. Okay, I'm again making you understand. Please remember, formation of ether from primary alcohol is a SN2 reaction. So first acid breaks dissociates to give you hydrogen ion. Then hydrogen ion combines with the alcohol molecule to form a charged oxonium ion. Okay? Then it is being attacked by another alcohol molecule, not from the front side, but from the back side. Okay? So you call it SN2 reaction. It forms a non-polar transition state, and ultimately from there a molecule of water goes out, and it forms another oxonium ion. From there, oxygen-hydrogen bond breaks, and hydrogen ion goes out. We call this to be deprotonation. So this step is deprotonation, and this step is protonation. So protonation occurs here. This is protonation occurs here, and here deprotonation takes place. So please write down this mechanism. Okay, this is here in your book. This is in your syllabus. Please write down. Okay, done.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ether chapter I will go slow. Though it is very small, but you have to go slow. Okay. Now, let us write some example. Let us write some examples. So it is CH3, CH2, OH. Concentrated H2SO4, 413 Kelvin. You get here CH3, CH2O, CH2, CH3 plus water. So this is ethanol, and here you get diethyl ether. Okay, so this is the way you can take propanol, you get dipropyl ether. Okay, huh? But actually, you know, we have found when we take alcohol and sulfuric acid, if you heat it at 443 Kelvin, we get alkene. And when we do the same thing at 413, we get ether. Okay? So this reaction, first of all, we have to understand. This is their in number. Okay? But they did not write this intermediate. I do not know why, what problem they have. See, let me do with ethanol. So, actually there, yes, actually alcohol forms an ester with sulfuric acid. Okay, because I told you that as alcohol can form ester with carboxylic acid, alcohol also form ester with inorganic acid. Okay, so now see here, from alcohol oxygen will not go. OH will go, and from here OH will go. Okay, so you'll get CH3. I'll write like this. You get this. Actually, you get this one. At what? At 373 Kelvin. What is the name of this? The name is ethyl hydrogen sulfate. See, this side SO4 2 minus is called sulfate. One hydrogen is there, so hydrogen sulfate. Other side you have ethyl group, we call it ethyl hydrogen sulfate. And it does occur. You can isolate it also. Ethyl hydrogen sulfate. Okay, we use profusely. We use ethyl hydrogen sulfate in our laboratory to alkylation of the compounds. Sulfate. So this is our main thing. Okay. Now, after the formation of this one, if you add here excess of alcohol and you raise the temperature to 413 Kelvin, what will happen? CH3, CH2, OH. See there. This oxygen attacks this carbon, sulfuric acid goes out. And what do you get here? CH3, CH2O, CH2, CH3 plus H2SO4. So what you get here? You get here ether. And instead of adding alcohol, if you add here excess of H2SO4, and raise the temperature to 443 Kelvin. See here in this case, what will happen? This one, it occurs like this. So from there, a molecule of sulfuric acid goes out, and you get ethene. You get here ethene. See, this is the beauty of the reaction. See here, this. Okay. So in your entrance exam, they may ask you, what are the products formed when ethyl alcohol reacts with sulfuric acid? They are not going to mention the temperature and conditions. So what you are going to say? You will say that it forms ethyl hydrogen sulfate, it forms alkene, and it forms ether. Okay? So it forms, so it's going to form alkene, ether, and ethyl hydrogen sulfate. Please write it. I will not go very fast in this chapter. This portion is very small in your book. There are many things which is hidden. If you do not understand, then there is no point of studying this portion. I told you now after finishing, please tell me. And I will not ask you again and again.
Done, sir.
Done, no? Okay. So now, though you'll get in video, but still you should, if you write it, there if you have a question, you can ask you. Huh? Now, initially we have done with primary alcohol, but if I do with secondary alcohol, then what is going to happen? In case of secondary alcohol, they produce a mixture of corresponding ethers and alkenes. So problem. You'll produce a mixture of ethers and alkenes. Suppose I have taken here isopropanol, okay, and if I heat it, H2SO4 and 413 Kelvin, it will give us isopropyl ether, di-isopropyl ether. What plus is going to form propene. So you have problem. Okay? And in case of tertiary alcohol only corresponding alkenes are formed. So this reaction is not a general method of preparation of ether. It is only applicable for preparing primary ethers are formed. Example, suppose I have taken here CH3, COH. Okay, suppose I prepared this. This is called isopropyl alcohol. You know this is called tertiary butyl alcohol. So if I have reacted with concentrated H2SO4, concentrated, okay, and heating at 413 Kelvin, not a single molecule of ether is going to form. You get here this plus this. It is called 2-methylpropane. 2-methylpropane. You get 2-methylpropane. All right. So this is the problem. Why it is like this? Okay, this one you can write from there. What the reason? What is the reason? The reason is in this, right, in case of secondary and tertiary alcohols, elimination reaction compete with substitution reaction, and for tertiary alcohol, it predominates forming only alkene. This question comes. Then why in case of the tertiary alcohol, ethers are not formed? So you will write that elimination reaction predominates over substitution reaction, resulting in the formation of ethers. Okay. So up to this much is enough. Tomorrow we'll do. I told you this because this chapter I have to show you the mechanism and explanation. And anywhere if you don't understand, you tell me. Okay. Bye. Good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.